Let's welcome on board then Sanjiv Bhasin as well, who joins in on the show to track individual stocks. And Sanjiv, good to have you on board. Let's begin by getting in your take as to what you make of the Berkshire Hathaway exit for Paytm. Is it going to materially impact the stock according to you?
Yeah, good morning. So, Awan, it's a buying opportunity. I mean, Berkshire has not exited because he's in a profit. It's because of the mistiming of the event before the, pre-IPO placement and so on. We think Paytm is a unique case of the fintech and the digital app going extremely positive. Positive news on their NBFC front is also where they are doing Kirana lending. I think this is a must-have in a portfolio and use this large exit to be a buying opportunity. Now the original owners are the promoters are the maximum holders with even and shareholding now coming to almost below 10%. So there are no very big old shareholders, and I think this is only a matter of opportunity to buy this stock, because I think fintechs, particularly PB fintech, Paytm, Zomato, are headed much higher over a period of time.
Sanjiv, hi, morning. Wanted to understand what is it that you're making of platforms like BSE. There's an interesting Jefferies note where they believe that from the current market price, there could be a 24% upside as more participation and digitization only increase further penetration. They're expecting an earnings jump of almost 150% in FY24.
Yeah, good morning, Aisha. Actually, the recent events, I've been part of two of the what we call presentations which BSE did in smaller cities, where they were advocating a large amount of their derivative market and the products which they had, which seem to be at a much bigger discount on a transaction basis to the NSE. And that has picked up, very actively. I think as an exchange, see, there are four conduits as intermediaries: exchanges, AMC, brokerages, and insurance. These are headed higher over a period of time, irrespective of markets, up and down. The sheer weight of financialization of saving means these are the best conduits which are going to make transaction-based money. So we are very bullish on the entire exchange space. Hence, MCX is something which is in our portfolio. We have advocated IEX at lower levels, but BSE has been a star. It's up, I think, it's almost tripled in the last 2 years, and I still think there is room on the upside. As a disclosure, we are one of the brokers there, so we have a vested interest that exchanges do well, and in turn the brokers.
So, in terms of IREDA, could it be a case that a bit of a government push in terms of policy change, could that really change dynamism for the entire sector per se and for the company per se? It's a business which is likely to grow. It's a space where excitement is high, and it's a opportunity where if they are really doing the right amount of lending in the entire green space or the renewable space, then the growth, I think, is going to be very high. So, Sanjiv, I've said all the good things about IREDA, but the concern here is that ultimately it's a cyclical business. It's a business where 3 years you will say looking great, but post 3 years, you don't know what will happen to energy prices. You don't know what will happen to the cyclicality. You don't know what will happen to the government policy.
Yeah, good morning. Nikunj, you're right. You can weigh the pros and cons, but the opportunity, the sheer weight that Tata's and Government of India have left something on the table for the retail investor, and, very pedigree names. So that is what you are aware, REC, PFC have been in the best space in the last 2 years than in the last 10. Now they are access to sovereign debt. They have a bond rating which is the highest ever, and return on capital because of transition of power surplus and receivables became extremely attractive. So 11% dividend yield is something which made them stand out. The same would be the case for IRDA, but like you have to weigh the negatives also: change in government policy, change in government stance. But I think it is universal that green energy, clean energy is something we are going to keep striving. By the way, ESG compliance stocks and funds have a huge inflow from Middle East and other places where there are benchmarked funds for such corporates and bonds and so on and so forth. And I think that is a very fast going space which will always have an added advantage of lower yields and cost of money. So I would definitely give it a very thumbs up on this Navratna status. You will get a very sharp bounce on opening, and I think it is an accumulate for a slightly longer period in your portfolio.
Okay, meantime, interesting reports coming out, and Jefferies has come out with their latest note on the property sector, talking about how it's seasonally off to a great start. And the key beneficiaries of the affordable scheme will be the likes of Sunteck, Lodha, and that valuations look attractive for a Godrej Properties and Sunteck, and they're among the top recommendations. What's your outlook then, Sanjeev, given the kind of traction we've seen within the entire property space?
So Avan, DLF and Godrej have been two of our portfolio picks, much almost half the levels where they are now. And we were also very, very bullish on property, given that asset monetization or asset creation of wealth, because of the twin rally in gold and stocks, will see hard assets do well. DLF has reduced its debt substantially over the last 2 years. Return on equities improved. Like I told you, I stay very close to Camellia, Magnolia, which are selling at a very, very biggest premium ever. Godrej has taken the bull by the horns and expanded all its network, whether it's Pan India or Vikhroli or you name the place. Then now what the space people are specifying is the brand which has, Lodha is specific to Bombay. Same is the case with Oberoi. They are specific to the area, so they have more expertise over there of how to deliver. And I think that is what is sending these developers or stocks which are being recommended. We still wait and overweight on DLF and Godrej, and we want to stay with the winners.
Sanjiv Bhasin, great to have you on the show as always. We'll see you again for all the market talk tomorrow morning.